Look, I'm gonna keep it extremely real with you right now. You will always get the woman that you attract. It's that simple. And by the way, I'm not a dating coach. I don't want to be a dating coach. But at the same time, I get a lot of questions around how I can attract better women. Why do I get with the wrong women? Why are all these types of women coming into my life? And there's a very obvious reason. And we're going to go through a process called the T-test. This is what I call it. And the T-test essentially is going to show you who that type of woman would even date. Because here's the thing, a lot of people, they get into trying to talk to women and they think they want to attract a certain women, but they don't even qualify. Like the men, like if you don't qualify for the woman that you're trying to get with, you're not going to get her. You're not. And if you do get her, she's going to cheat on you or she's going to leave you because you're not the person who complements her. That's the thing with relationships. It's all about being complementary. It's all about having duality, structured duality, feminine, masculine. Now, both parties, male and female, have both of those elements, masculine and feminine, in them. But one will have the more dominant energy and the other one will have a more dominant energy going the opposite direction. So a woman will bring out more of her masculine traits, which is aggressiveness, so arguing. She'll get into more, like trying to do everything, trying to control stuff. She'll get into more of her masculine if you're just innately a feminine dude. And unfortunately, in society today, men are extremely feminine. So who are they going to attract? More masculine women, which is what's going on in the West right now, right? And I look in Europe, I look in the Western area, and I see a lot of men hold those masculine traits that the West call toxic, right? They hold it. Not the immature man, the kid, right? Not the tyrant, the little kid tyrant that's trying to control everything, hitting women, doing all that. No, there is a perfectly masculine figure that you can become that will attract a perfectly feminine woman. And so you might be saying, well, Martel, how do I do this? So we're going to walk this through. I call this a T-test for a reason, right? We're going to call this a T-test. And so with the T-test, and by the way, I've done this test with a lot of women that I've talked to in the past. I've literally had them do this exercise. I'm somebody where like I'm real out the box. Like I don't do traditional things whenever I'm dating or I'm talking to women, right? If I feel like the woman is delusional and she doesn't necessarily know she doesn't deserve me as a man, I'm gonna prove that. And also, but first you need to prove it to yourself. I had to prove it to myself first. So let's do this, right? So we start off with the T. And I had to do this for myself to really like ground myself in who I am, right? We have man and we have woman. Very, very basic test, right? But this shit will actually help you a lot. Now, if you want to target a specific woman, I need you to literally write down every single trait of that woman. I'll give you some example traits, right? She's beautiful. And you can be specific too. You can put her ethnicity here, or like, let me just put the category so you can fill that in for yourself. I'm not going to give you specifics, right? Let's put ethnicity. If you like specific ethnic women. Ethnicity, you can put height, put the personality traits in here, put the personality traits. You can put location, potentially, if you care about location. You can put all kinds of things, right? You can put occupation if you want. But the reality is men don't really give a fuck about a woman's occupation. That's what they don't understand. We don't care about that. We don't care about where you work. That shit doesn't even make you. So actually, I'm going to erase this shit because you don't even need this. You can put hobbies. You can put everything, right? You can literally put everything. You can put specific thing, like what does she do? Is she somebody who cooks? Can she cook? Can she take care of a kid or take care of a family? Does she have that motherly trait? Take care of family. You can write all kinds of things, right? So let's just say, okay, you wrote down a bunch of different things. Now, You wrote down what you want from a woman, which is what all of you do. A lot of you do this at least. You'll know exactly what kind of woman you want. But what you don't know is who that woman is innately going to be attracted to. Who's going to be able to pull that woman? Who is she going to respond to and say yes to, right? So the man, you literally put, okay, well, what's his ethnicity potentially, right? That she would be attracted to if you want to go that route. What's his height? You can also put body type too, body type. What's his body type? If you put the body type of the woman. If you said you want someone who's slim, super slim, but you're fat and out of shape, how the fuck are you going to attract someone who's super slim? Very, very unlikely. It can happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you have to be very honest. Like body type, personality traits that woman would be attracted to. So you can put like very assertive, very masculine, or masculine isn't really a personality trait. It's an essence, but you get the point. Like anything, like any personality trait that you have, very, very decisive, right? Like all of these are personality traits. It's the same with a woman, right? Submissive, very nice, very loving, caring. You can put that as personality traits, and that complements each other because you have to be the polar opposite of what it is that you're trying to attract to be able to attract it. Again, positive and negative, right? They come together. They attract each other. Negative and negative repel each other. Positive and positive repel each other, right? So there has to be some duality. This is what I was saying. It's all about duality. And that's why we make this chart, to be able to understand the duality of what we're looking for. Location, right? If you want to look into that, that's for like the guys who really care. This shit really doesn't even matter, to be honest. It really doesn't matter, but I just put it in there. Hobbies, right? Maybe she likes painting. She likes doing all the like nice things. And the opposite of that, she's going to be attracted to a guy who likes all the rough shit. So you don't have to have the same hobbies as them. That's another thing that I want to also explain. You're not her roommate. You're not her best friend. I hear this shit all the time. This is my best friend. It's like my best friend. I always correct that shit all the time. I'm like, I'm not your best friend. I'm your boyfriend, or I'm your man. I'm not your best friend. We're not sitting here just playing footsies under the table and shit, giggling. No, we're functional, right? We are in a functional relationship, which means we have to complement each other. We have to help each other in different ways, because the weaknesses that this woman may have, or the things that she may not possess, she's going to look for that in the guy, right? So if she cooks, what do, right? You provide. You're a provider. You make money. If you want her to sit, cook, clean, and do all that, you can't expect for her to go work too. And if she does, that's cool, but it can't be 50-50. There is no such thing as 50-50, fellas. That's bullshit. I'm going to tell you that right now. You go 50-50 with a woman, you lose all leverage. You lose all leverage. You're not going to get anything that you want, because she feels like she has to cook, clean, she has to take care of you, and then on top of that, she has to go also make money, also go bust her ass at work, and then split that shit with you. No. That's not, and if it happens, it can happen for a short period of time, because again, I'm not saying that you're coming here and you're rich and you're balling and all that, but always assume that you're working towards a non-50-50 relationship. Even if it's 60-40 or 70-30, that gives you more leverage as a man to be able to be a leader, because the leader takes on a majority of the responsibilities in anything. In a company, the CEO is the leader. He takes all of the responsibilities of that company, which is why he gets paid the most, which is why he gets the most respect, because he takes on the most risk. You as the man have to take on the most risk in the relationship, and the woman has to support you taking that risk, which is what all of these traits are. Basically, what you're going to be looking for are all of the supportive traits in a woman to be able to help you take all of the risk in the relationship. That's how it works, right? So provide, take care of the family, which means you, again, provide for the family, right? You know, you have to be strong. She's looking for somebody strong. You literally write down, and I'm just giving you examples here. This is not something you copy verbatim, but just write down all of the important traits that you look for in a woman. And a lot of men don't even know what all of those traits are. So they can't even figure out what kind of woman that they want. They just take everybody. I used to be like this. You take anybody because you don't really have a baseline. You don't have like non-negotiables in a woman that you can filter out on the first date. Right? So when you figure this out and you figure out the type of man that this woman that you want is attracted to, now you have to look at yourself and say, okay, do I check all of these boxes? What boxes don't I check? Okay, maybe there's some personality traits that I don't do, right? Maybe I can't provide right now. I don't check that box. Maybe I'm not strong. I look like a sack of oatmeal. Fuck, I can't check that box. Hobbies, right? Okay, what are the different hobbies that would attract this woman? Okay, cool, I have that. So now you've checked off everything that you have compared to the man that she desires. And you have to, and it's easier for men to do this because it's easy for us to be brutally honest with ourselves. I'll be very honest with you. Very, very easy. And I've done this with women before who I believe are overshooting the type of man that they want. Oh, he needs to be over 6 feet. He needs to be making at least 6 figures. He needs to be, strong. He has to be someone who's dominant. And I'm like, look, if he has to be all of these, you have to compliment him too. But I don't say that. I'm like, okay, that's the type of man you want. Well, what kind of woman would that man want? I would do this shit. I would literally have this be an exercise. If I'm chilling with them, I'm crazy. I'll put out a piece of paper and say, hey, let's do an exercise real quick. Let's each do this. Let's put what's the exact type of man that we want and what's the exact type of man that you want and what's the woman that would attract that man that man would want. And then I'll put on my side, okay, this is the type of woman that I want, and this is the type of man that she would be attracted to. And we would compare notes, and it would be eye-opening because they couldn't write down shit in terms of if they put exactly what kind of man they want. They could never put down what woman that man would be attracted to, or they would cap themselves, which means they would lie and put themselves, they'd write down their traits, right? And I'm like, no, that man wouldn't, and then I would go logical because at that point, I don't care. I'm going logical. I'm saying, look, that man would not want this specific thing. That may be what you have, but that's not what the man wants. And by the way, women find this attractive for some reason. If you can stand up for yourself and if you can be very, very honest, brutally honest with yourself and with them, you gain way more respect. None of this nice guy shit. That shit has to go. So you can sit a woman down and run this T-test on both sides. And that will open her eyes to see this is who you want, right? This is exactly who you want. And if she's that, she qualifies herself. If she's not, she may see herself as not qualified, and that's fine. Move on. Or maybe she's okay with working on those specific traits to be that person. If she's open to working towards being the woman that you want her to be based on the type of man that you are because you were honest with yourself, great, move forward with that, right? But if she's being combative and she's like, oh, no, that doesn't even make any sense. Well, that's your red flag right there. Walk out. You're done. Right? Tell her, hey, it was nice meeting you, etc. Don't talk to her. Keep her at arm's length. But you have to run this test and be honest with yourself to be able to understand exactly who it is that you can attract as who you are now. What I would also do, I would go back and I would say, look, let me write down the man that I am right now. And let me write down the traits of the woman that I would attract right now. And be brutally honest with yourself. If you're a nice guy, you're going to attract a woman who is dominant, who is somebody who's damn near like a man, who's the opposite of a nice guy, right? And that's why you see all these quote unquote bad boys, they attract a lot of these very submissive, very nice women who are soft-spoken because there has to be duality. There has to be some sort of polar opposite for you guys to actually be attracted to each other. That's just how it works. If you're a man and you're a go-getter, the woman might just want to chill, and that's great. That's amazing. And if she doesn't want to chill, and maybe that's a trait that you guys have similar, cool, make it be beneficial for you. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you want to have a woman who's somewhat the polar opposite of you. You don't want to have all of the similarities of that woman because then she's going to feel like that's your best friend. And how many times are you going to have sex? Probably once a year because she's not going to be inherently attracted to you because there's no polarity. You have to have polarity. So that's where a lot of men who get with women who are similar to them because they're feminine, because they're soft, because they're very soft-spoken. They can't stand up for themselves. The women also can't stand up for themselves, but they want a man who can. They want a man who can put them in their place. This man's not putting them in their place. They're going to go and cheat on you with someone who you feel like is less than you because he has the traits that she's actually attracted to. But a lot of men can't understand this T-test. A lot of y'all might think this is stupid, but this is probably the realest exercise I've ever done for myself and I've ever had a woman do and actually expose herself or at least reinforce herself. And it's a fact. And when you have a woman do this, she starts to understand like, wait, this is who I need to be to even attract this type of man. And the sad reality is a lot of women don't like accountability. So they don't want to hear this shit. They're going to get pissed off. And that's your red flag right there. A woman that wants accountability, bro, is a gold mine. You keep her at all times. If she understands that, okay, there are some things I need to work on, or yeah, I want this type of man, but I know I have to be this specific woman, so I'm able to shift my mindset because I was single for a long time. I was used to just taking care of myself, but now I can fall into your leadership. That woman is a gold mine. Keep that woman for life because there's not many of them. And it goes vice versa. If you're a woman and you find a man who can rise up to the occasion and can actually be the man that you want, that you are attracted to because that's the man that he wants to become, you keep him, right? It's like investing in a stock early. You invest in a woman who's okay, who's good at most of the things, and maybe there's some things that she's willing to be able to change to be able to be the woman that you ultimately desire. I guarantee you, if this shit happened, there wouldn't be much cheating. There wouldn't be many divorces. A lot of divorces happen because we live in relationships where, okay, you're with this woman, but you don't necessarily like everything that she has. There are things that turn you off. There are things that you don't even want to talk about and address because you can't confront anybody because you're too fucking nice. And the woman can't confront you on the shit that she doesn't like about you. I was watching this Instagram reel shit where these women went to like camps to go yell because they're angry with their husbands. And I'm like, well, why don't you just talk to them? Oh, wait, you can't. You don't want any form of accountability. You don't want any form of confrontation. So of course you're going to get divorced with that man because you're going to get sick and tired of it. And it goes both ways. The man usually cheats. He's like, fuck it, I'll keep you around, but I'm going to go somewhere else because you're not telling her what she wants, what you want, and she's not telling you what she wants. So now both of you are just fucked up. So you have to run this test and really mirror, okay, if I'm a man, what kind of woman do I want? Right? And put down all the traits. And then write down all the traits of the man that she wants, that she would actually want, and be fucking honest with yourself. Be brutally honest. This shit won't work if you're not honest. That's why I'm telling you guys this, because majority of my audience is men, and I know you can do this exercise correctly. And now you flip the script, right? And you may give a woman the same exact test and see if she can be honest with herself, if she can be accountable. Those are the types of women that you want. Period. The ones that know, okay, maybe there's some improvement I need to do. Maybe I don't qualify for this man. Because there will be women that you talk to that are attracted to you that they don't even qualify for you. That's when you know you've become multidimensionally jacked. You've been this man who can do many different things. You want a woman who can complement that, who is great in her own feminine way. And so if you don't have that, if she's not showing that, she doesn't qualify for you. Stop feeling bad about it and stop trying to keep her, because I used to do this shit too. You keep a woman that's not even qualified for you, so you boost her fucking ego. And when you boost her ego, she starts treating you like shit, because now she thinks that she's on pace with you. And now she sees that, hey, I can get guys like you all the time. So she'll go and fuck around with somebody else because you've given her this illusion that she's good enough for a guy like you. So you have to be brutally honest. And you have to put women in their place if they're not honest with themselves. Because they're going to ask you, what kind of woman are you attracted to? You tell them. And you look at them. And if you know that they're not that, you know, I'm not moving forward with this shit. And they know. And that might make them more attracted to you because you now become a chase. Women love to chase, by the way. I know a lot of guys are going to come after me like, bro, you don't know relationships. You're so young. Sure. Probably been with more women than you. I'm just putting it out there. I've had my experiences, so I know this shit. From dating, it doesn't even have to be having sex. Like, I'm talking about really just experiencing women, like the dynamics that women have, living with women. experiencing women, hearing their psyche, bro, like understanding how they think, having friends who were women. Back when I believe men and women could be friends. By the way, spoiler alert, men and women cannot be fucking friends. They can't. If there's polarity, they can only be friends if there's no polarity. If you guys are the same, yes, you could be best friends, she'll friend zone the shit out of you. Or you'll friend zone the shit out of her, it's fine. Like a lot of the women friends that I had, they had very masculine traits. So it's very easy to just be friends. There was no attraction. Why? There's no polarity. But when I talk about overall, most of the time, you literally cannot have female friends who are attractive, who you're attracted to. There's no fucking chance. There's none. Maybe if there's a business relationship and there's something that you can get out of it, yes. But most men, they befriend women because they can have sex with them. They want to have sex with them. That's why you're befriending women. Or you want to be able to utilize them to be able to talk to their friends. Or you utilize them for social status. Let's be fucking real, fellas. Let's be real about why we do this shit. That's why. Why do women want to be friends with men? Because you give her free attention. That's her utilization of you. Your attention. Your validation. You being there. You protecting her for free. And she doesn't have to give shit to you. And you're in the friend zone and you're wondering, oh, why am I always in the friend zone? Because your guys are not polar. There's no polarity. And you have to be able to run this T-test to get the duality, to get the polarity that's going to make sure that the relationship or the whatever dating fling that you have goes well. And you have to start analyzing what kind of women do you want and what kind of men are they attracted to. And be real with yourself and know, okay, these are the different things I need to work on to be able to attract this type of woman. If you're broke as fuck, it's going to be very hard to get a woman who is submissive and also okay. It happens. I'm not saying this is impossible, but for the general populace, for just general advice, there is no chance in the world. It's not likely. So you have to have that polarity. You have to. Women always date up. They don't date down. They don't. And if you say, oh, well, women still date guys who are coming up. Yes, because they show potential, because they have drive, because they have a mission, they have a purpose that levels them up, that puts them at a higher frequency that the woman can look up to. Women want to look up to a man. She doesn't want to look at you eye for eye. She doesn't want to look down at you either. She wants to look up at you. So you have to be the man that woman looks up to, that has the opposite that she has. So she knows that at least when she comes together with you, the puzzle is now put together. But you have to be brutally honest. And this is how you're going to attract exactly what you deserve. As a man, if you're attracting hoes, if you're attracting women who are fucking around with all kinds of dudes, why? Why is that? Maybe you do the same thing. So of course you're going to, maybe that's who you're actually attracted to. Maybe that's what actually makes you want to be with somebody. Simple. Right? And again, polarity also exists there too. If you're a man that doesn't necessarily get around too much and doesn't have experience with women, you're going to attract women who get around so much. And it comes from a logical perspective because you don't have the experience to be able to filter them out. They're looking for a man who doesn't have experience so that they can hide their past. So you're going to be the man who gets with them and you're going to attract those types of women because you have zero discernment. If you're a man who's had his experiences with women and you understand that, you're going to attract women who maybe don't have that much experience at all. That's who you're going to attract. It's just a fact. Because you're going to have discernment. You're going to know. You're going to be able to filter people out. You're going to have a certain energy to you where you have the experience, where you have that leadership, and women will want to be with you even if they haven't been with a lot of guys. And that's really the simple, plain fact, right? So you have to have polarity and you have to have duality. You have these two things and your relationship goes well. I hope this was helpful for you. This is all going to be, and I talk about a lot of things about frame control, polarity. I talk about all of this in Multidimensional Academy, where all of my programs are, the community of men that I have. We're getting close to about 15 guys. I just launched this yesterday. I'm really, really excited about it. These men are learning all of these things that I give you guys a taste on YouTube. I give you a taste of the fitness on YouTube. I give you a taste of the dating on YouTube. I give you the taste of the personal branding. I give you the taste of business. I give you the taste. But in Multidimensional Academy, all of that shit's there. I guarantee you, and I guarantee you, as it progresses, and even now, you don't ever need to watch another self-improvement YouTuber if you join that, because it will have everything you need to improve yourself in all 5 dimensions: mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, socially. All of that shit is in there. It's my life's work. So if you want to join, the link will be below. If not, all good. You can join the free Telegram and get some more value as well. But I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video.